Welcome to this edition of Vibe Gardening Inform Edition. We're going to talk a little bit about what I learned this year in 2025 about tomato growing, my second season. So with that said, here we go. So this year, the way I've done things is a little differently from last year. Even though I still had two tomato plants to go with, I had 16 bell pepper plants next to it. And one of the first things I've done that's significantly different this year is that I used soaker hose to water my plants here in this raised bed, in this in-ground bed. And one of the things that really became an issue as I saw later down in the season is that I'm starting to have hydration issues down the line because I had about a 20 or 25-foot soaker hose. So, and it's on a Wi-Fi timer, so I don't have to worry about timing as nearly as much. But whereas I saw hydration was quite fine with this one, as this one is closer to the faucet. I saw significant amount of signs of underwatering here with this one, which is at the end of the soaker hose. Mainly, I was starting to see reduction in green color in the leaves, but the other problem I saw was that I was getting a lot of blossom end rot, which, as this video I'll link below from Ashley from Garden in Canada, shows that even though it's a calcium deficiency, at the core of it, it's actually more a watering issue, which kind of goes along with the fact that this is near the end of a soaker hose. I'm also seeing reduction in bell pepper size near the end as well. So the big takeaway is that the soaker hose, you need to keep it short. 20 plus feet is going to be too long. So next year, one thing I'll do is I'm going to split it using the Y splitter on the soaker on that channel coming from Wi-Fi timer faucet control, and then I'm going to have 10 foot on both ends come together. So that way it's going to be able to have enough water on both ends of the garden. So here, as you can see, this is the one that's been getting less water. This one has also shown the effects of probably wrong style pruning, which is that's something I did not do last year. Last year, I just let it grow continuously, and they produce a lot of fruit. And this year, I basically what I did was when I saw that it's reaching outside these trellis. You see this trellis here. I'll put the link below on the trellis I use. The trellis is actually quite nice. But the thing is, once the tomato grew past the trellis, I would basically cut it wherever I saw that it would not be getting support. This seemed like a good idea at first, but what I also realized was due to how everything was blooming and fruiting later in the season this year due to weird weather, I was actually cutting my potential. And what I probably should have done was either do a better style pruning, which I'm going to have to research next year, or I'm going to let it drape over. Like right now, you see this kind of draping over and really kind of just flapping over. I should just let it flap and see what happens and react to it as I need to give it more support. So pruning the right way is something that I probably really should look into for next year. So another thing that happened this year too, as you can see here with the tomato next to me, and then all these marigold, it's everywhere. That's actually one of the things that I think I kind of made a mistake on is I put too much competing light source um, plants around it. These marigold are pretty and they attract pollinators. I've never actually had pollinator attraction problems last year, so I'm not really solving a problem here. But these guys actually became a bit of a blocker of light, especially lower down. And as you can see, these things got tall. They're essentially about the same height as a tomato, as you can see here. So this is actually another issue, I think, is that though I don't know how big of a deal this is, but it definitely reduced the amount of light it's getting, which I think definitely didn't help, though I don't think this is the main consideration I should be figuring out um, this year, I mean for next year. So now it's about mid-September, about September 13th. And as we can see here, this tomato still got some green tomatoes here hanging. And we still got another week or so of 80 plus degrees coming up. And I really hope that temperature is going to let it have more ripe red tomatoes coming up. Though I did not have nearly as much, as I almost did not give out any tomato this year from just not having enough. Hopefully it's going to give me enough of a push later on to get some sauce for at least 1 or 2 meals. So let's see how that goes. But right now, if they don't ripen, I'll have another video on preserving your harvest. And so this year I'm actually going to be learning how to do pickling of green tomatoes from my Indian friends from church. So we'll see how that works out. So there you have it. This is what I've learned this year, 2025, my second year growing tomatoes. So the main thing I learned is be able to make sure that I'm able to hydrate both tomatoes properly when I put it on soaker hose with a Wi-Fi timer, and also the need to actually prune properly without just vibe pruning. I need to figure out actual strategy for pruning, and also make sure I don't give it too much competing plants around it to block out the sunlight. So if we can keep those things going, hopefully next year, hopefully we get more predictable and better and more, whether it's more acclimated to this part of the world. We can get a large harvest where we can have plenty to make sauce from, and then plenty also to give away. So let's see if things do better next year. Until next time, guys, keep gardening, keep vibing.